Now going to question 12 here. If this question looks like a scary word problem to you if you don't immediately know where to start, one way to get better clarity is to describe your variables. Just the idea of thinking on paper is kind of a lost art these days and something that any good tutor teaches. In this question, it's as easy as saying to yourself what they said, which is that X is the number of small containers and Y is the number of large containers. That might allow us to take this equation apart a little bit. So we've got the 4.51 and the X, the 6.07 and the Y, and then we've got our equal sign. Let's go ahead and shrink this down a tiny bit. Now, like we said already, we know that X is the number of small containers. So let's just say X containers. And Y is the number of large containers. So we'll say Y containers. And this part of the equation pertains to the small. And this part of the equation pertains to the large. Let's change the color on the units real quick. So that looks a little bit better. And for the 896.86, we're being told that that's the number of dollars. That's really important here. So what we're doing here is we're dealing with the units more than the numbers. It's a unit conversion question. Now, because of that, we need to remember that for unit conversions, any number is equal to itself over 1. And that's actually surprisingly a big deal here. If we go ahead and put denominators of 1 here and here, we're seeing everything as a fraction. The question is, what unit needs to be attached to the 4.51 and the 6.07 in order to make them cancel out and end up with the dollar sign at the end? And so this is very weird for people who haven't seen it, needless to say. But what we need right now is dollars per container. Here and also here. And the reason we need that is because if we're doing the unit conversion, which is the idea of whenever you have something on the top and on the bottom, canceling them with each other, we can cancel these out and they would disappear, leaving us with what? With dollars, which is what we needed. So the containers cancel with containers, leaving us with dollars. And that would make this equation make sense. So going through this process demonstrates to us that the price of the smaller container is the 4.51. It's $4.51 for every one container as it pertains to the small, because X was the number of small containers, whereas Y was the number of large containers. So this question might be easy for some people. You could just look at it and say, oh yeah, that's 4.51, great. But if you need the extra help, that's how you do it. The answer here is 4.51.